Well, the challenge in an urban neighborhood like East Nashville is to create a garden that is not only beautiful, but also gives you that privacy that you adore. Well, Matt, this is what, about a quarter-acre site?
It's a quarter-acre lot. It's one of the bigger yards in East Nashville right now.
Well, it is really fantastic to see what you've done in about 2 years.
Oh, thank you.
Now, as we come around here, I can't help but notice you have some beautiful trees. So what were the bones? What did you start with?
Well, some of the trees were existing here already. The purple smoke tree was here, and that kind of used that as the color palette basis. Also, the magnolia and the big honeysuckle over there, they were all here to start with. So that kind of set the foundation for everything that we did here.
Well, it really is nice. You've got so much privacy and the trees give you so much shade.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I really like is the way you have not only a water-wise landscaping here, but also something that I imagine doesn't really require a whole lot of extra work.
Yeah, well, I think the trend in landscaping right now is to go to the low maintenance. I say I have about 80% of my clients say, I want low maintenance. I don't want to do any work out there. So I try to pick water-wise perennials like the sedum and the stone crop, and then hostas, which don't require a lot of maintenance. And then easy ground cover. The creeping jenny adds a nice chartreuse color.
Well, they're so pretty, but that's not to say you can't get a lot of color in your garden as well.
Yeah, so we've got the burgundies, little light blue with the blue spruce conifers. Got the iris here, of course, Tennessee state flower. Everybody loves an iris. And then added chartreuse and of course green to make everything kind of go together. Weeping white pine, and then several different varieties of sedum, stone crop. One of my favorite plants, the Thunderhead pine, which can grow, none of them are exactly the same, they just grow crazy everywhere. So
you've got some great movement in there. Of course, you have some delicate white peeping up there.
Absolutely, the heuchera, lovely coral bells in the burgundy. Some more of the creeping jenny over here. Of course, the hostas.
Well, and all of this also not only gives the different subtle colors, but you're also getting really nice movement in your garden as the wind comes through. You get a little breeze, and all of those little flowers are moving in different directions.
Absolutely, it creates just a great relaxing environment. Kind of a little sanctuary back here.
Well, you've done some really interesting things with some plants that I didn't think I could grow. So let's come over by the side area.
Oh, let's do it.
I know you have a little trick with this rush.
Oh, the rush is, I just think it's the coolest thing ever. It's a highly aggressive plant, horsetail rush, Equisetum hyemale. And what I did is I planted it in submerged pots with no drainage because it's a bog plant and it likes to be constantly wet. So those are submerged down in there and they have no way of escaping, which is great because they'd take over the whole yard if they did.
Ah, and so they stay nice and wet, but you don't have to actually have a pond for them.
Absolutely.
I like that idea. Now, with your rocks that you've used, all the different types of stones, and your choice of plantings, you've created a really natural looking, I don't know, to me it almost looks like a seascape.
Oh, well yeah, at my company, Mad Landscapes, we use all natural stone, perennial shrubs, trees. So this is limestone, which I actually got from a local construction site. The foreman at the site said, take as much as you want, so I did. So that's the limestone, and then of course we've got the decorative gravel and the flagstone, all natural products. And then that piece of wood I found right across the street at my neighbors. They had it out there for the city to take away. So I sanded it down, gave it a little coat of water seal, and there it is.
Well, it is just so beautiful. And as we walk into your seating area, the privacy just really becomes apparent.
It really is great, and it stays shaded most of the year. It's great for gatherings with friends and family, sit around the fire pit on a cool night and just hang out and chat.
Well, and the benefit of having all this shade is you've got a moss garden growing.
Absolutely. The moss was actually transplanted from the north side of the house, which is where moss grows, north side of trees, north sides of houses. So I took that out with a rock chisel, and you want to get the moss when it's just after a rain because it's nice and moist, and you just get under there and take the full little sheets, about a handful at a time, and just place it. And just before you came, I misted it. It takes a daily misting and a little more maintenance to keep it looking great, but yeah, it turned out beautiful. I'm going to add some more ferns here shortly and really love this part of the garden.
So the Asian area that you have over
Yeah.
here is beautiful. And tell us some about those plant choices.
We started with the what we call the specimen, which would be the Japanese maple. That's a crimson queen to give it the burgundy color. And then some other structural trees. My favorite one is the weeping hemlock over there. And then hinoki cypress, conifer. You want like a 1/3 of your landscape to be conifers so you can get that winter interest as well. And then of course the Hakone Chloa just pulls everything together, the Japanese forest grass with the chartreuse color. The delicate details of the dwarf mondo grass and the sedums kind of tie everything together as well.
Well, it's very lovely, and I guess except for the occasional plucking out of a weed here and there,
Exactly.
pretty low maintenance.
Very low maintenance.
So Matt, one of the things that really strikes me here is that you have these beautiful patterns that play off of each other.
Well, I started with the color palette, burgundy, green, chartreuse, and the creeping jenny over here, the ground cover. And of course we have a sedum variety here, which is also the chartreuse color. And then I matched it on this side in the Asian garden with the Hakone Chloa. So that kind of ties everything together color-wise. And then just the placing of the limestone everywhere. The limestone rock garden here, again over there in the Asian-inspired garden, and then the decorative gravels there, and the decorative gravel here to kind of fill in the rock garden.
So you're matching your plant material, you're matching your rocks, and then also I see that there are a lot of the same lines running through, almost like rivers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great idea when you're landscaping your own home to use the curved lines, because most houses have the straight lined edges. You know, the curved patterns kind of complement that well. Repetition of plants is important too, just to get the cohesive energy flowing.
I really, really like this table. This is a gorgeous piece of wood.
Oh, thank you. It's actually hackberry. One of my neighbors cut down a huge hackberry tree. Again, I just took what I could, what he gave me, and sanded it down, gave it a little coat. It makes a nice table. We've got another little side table over there made out of it. Another interesting thing is these chairs. I actually made them from the pallets that all the stone came on. So just kind of try to use everything that was delivered to the house.
Matt, tell us how you made these beautiful planters.
Well, I started out with a chainsaw and hollowed them out, and then to get deeper down in there, I used a wood chisel and kind of hacked it out.
Well, it really, really looks great. Now, you still have some room, and actually since this is such a nice compact garden, it almost looks like you have a huge lawn on this quarter acre.
This is my blank canvas. We're planning on expanding everything. I refer to this lovingly as Wonderland. Mad Landscapes is kind of a reference to Alice in Wonderland. So eventually we're going to do a chessboard over here behind the arborvitae, kind of a big floating deck seating area, kind of a Mad Tea Party kind of setting, and probably some kind of water feature like lagoon type area behind the chessboard. So a lot of things going on. My mind is always turning with new ideas. So.
Well, Matt, this is all very inspiring.
Yeah.
It makes me just sort of want to sit here and relax.
Well,
So,
hey, I invite you to come by anytime. I'll leave that gate open for you, Julie. You come in, bring a book, and chill out in the garden anytime you want.
all right, thank you so much. I am so inspired by all of this.
My pleasure. I'm glad you like it.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.